All right, welcome back. We're in beautiful Moab, Utah, and today we're going to go over a few things that you didn't see in the build process. So let's check them out. All right, so at this point, the build journal is done. You've seen the full van start to finish and the final reveal. But there's a few projects we did along the way that we didn't get on camera that you didn't see. So we'll touch on a few of those today. We'll start with the diesel heater. All right, so one of the major things we installed for quality of life in the van was the diesel heater. We mounted it here under the passenger seat. It's a 5 kilowatt model, so it's one of the larger sizes. We've tested it out a couple of times now. It works great. Install wasn't too bad on it. I mean, we had to drill a hole through the floor to mount the exhaust and the intake. Then for the install, we ended up mounting the fuel pump, the fuel filter, and all the other controls for underneath the seat as well. The fuel tank we mounted in where the passenger door is, which I'll show you here in a second. So this isn't the fuel tank that came with the kit when we bought it. We decided to go with an aftermarket tank with a size that fit specifically in this spot right here. We wanted to keep everything kind of centralized in one area. The main reason we went with this size tank was so that it would fit in this passenger footwell, and the door would also be able to close. So I think that's it for the diesel heater. Any questions on that, let us know. But while we're in this spot here, we'll just move up to the Lagoon Table. Now, you already saw the Lagoon Table in the reveal video. I just wanted to touch on quick this bracket we used right here. So all the black metal you see is what comes with the Lagoon Table when you buy it, but you need to find a way to mount it to your van. We found this bracket here on Etsy, I believe it was. If you just go on Etsy and search camper van Lagoon Table, you can find one that fits your style of van. So it's simple enough to install. The holes on the Ford Transit are already in these locations and the threads are already in there. So it's simple enough. You just bolt it right in and mount the Lagoon Table to it here, and works like a charm. All right, and last thing while we're in this area is the bug screen. Again, you already saw this in the reveal. I think mainly the back one. We did the back and the side. We could not live without this on the road. Like, keeps flies, mosquitoes out. I mean, here in the desert, it's not too bad, but some of the locations we've been, especially starting on the East Coast, it was miserable. Installing this is a little tricky. You have to take your time. So if you look here in the edge, you can see all this excess fabric along the back side of the seal. So when you get this, it has a lot of extra. So what you end up doing is pulling this whole rubber seal off, and there's the metal flange behind it. You pull the fabric behind it, and it comes with these metal clips you put onto the flange all the way around the outside, and then stick the rubber gasket back on, and then trim the excess fabric off. It's a little messy. It's kind of hard to cut tight to the seal on there around the outside. And then you also have to worry about getting it centered. So on this left side over here, you can see it kind of pulls at a weird angle. Again, trying to fit this in and getting it all square is tough, but yeah, it works like a charm. If you need it out of the way, you can unzip it here, and it just rolls up and clips up top with these clips. Quick and simple. For the most part, we just keep it down all the time. The only complaint I would have with it so far is we've only been on the road a couple of months and it's already getting sun faded. I think it's just the oils on our hands from touching this part of it is causing it to kind of bleach out in the sunlight. Other than that, we wouldn't go without it. So as we come around back to our messy garage, another thing we wanted to touch on was the way we did our mattress ventilation. So during the build video, you saw all the holes we drilled through the wooden part under the mattress to get ventilation. Prior to putting the mattress in, we were worried that wasn't enough, so we ended up finding these floor tiles. I believe they're for like water drainage in work areas. We'll put a link to it in the description so you can see. But this ended up giving us a gap underneath the mattress. So if you can see here, we put them the whole way back, and they're also along the head and foot between the walls as well to allow ventilation against the wall in the mattress. And then underneath here is still our holes that we drilled. So this will allow the air to come up through the holes we drilled and then disperse through all the gaps in this. And going this route, I mean, it just ensures we have proper ventilation everywhere throughout the mattress. So we were worried the areas where we drilled all the holes in the wood board was going to leave dead spots where mold and mildew could still form. So by going this route, this ensures again that we have excellent air distribution everywhere. Another modification we did to the van as far as like external modifications go were airbags on the rear axles. I guess while I'm right here, we also upgraded the tires to BF Goodrich KO2s. good off-road tire. They can handle the additional weight of the van with the thicker sidewall these have. And for getting places like this where the road's rough, they're amazing. So, but beyond the tire, behind this, we installed airbags on the rear axle. We'll cut to some B-roll of that because it's hard to show from this position. One way you can do it is with an external air compressor that you can adjust on the fly. We didn't go that route. We went the cheaper option. So ours are adjustable with a valve stem that is down here on the back side of each bumper. So all you do with this, you just hook up a traditional bicycle pump, and ours has a gauge on it so you can adjust the pressure. We usually run them at around 40 PSI on both sides. We found that keeps it very stable. So the major reasons we did this modification was, one, the additional weight with the build of the van. We didn't want the back end sagging and then hitting bumps or speed bumps on the highway. I mean, it'll bob up and down a lot. So the airbags put that extra pressure in the rear end that keeps it more stable. Another major thing is crosswinds and curves on the highway. So driving cross country on interstates, high crosswinds will make the van sway around a lot. This keeps it planted in the rear end and makes it much more stable. And again, taking curves on back roads or on ramps and off ramps, it keeps the van much more planted, and all that additional weight with how tall this van is, it doesn't lean back and forth as much. So I would say this is definitely a necessity to look into if you're going a custom van build. With all the additional weight, it's definitely a must. So another thing that comes up when you talk about van life and living in a van is van security. So one of the things we did was installed these external locks. We did these on every door. They're a little bit different style on each of the different doors. But what this does, so when you have the van locked, like it won't open, but somebody could easily break the glass, unlock it, open it. So we put these on. It's from a German company. I believe it's HEO Safe or HEO Safe. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, honestly. But what they do, so I'll give you an example quick. So they bolt on to the sheet metal of the van itself like this, and then you put it over the door itself. So with the door being unlocked, you go to open it. This is just going to block the way. And the nice thing about this is the way that it's shaped is that nobody could kind of drill out the holes or anything like that with the style of it. So it's a quick, simple lock, easy to lock the van up when you're leaving. Just the last thing you do to lock this. Gives you a little extra peace of mind. So when it comes to van security, any little thing like this you can do to deter people or slow them down a little bit could be the difference between keeping your stuff safe or not. So adding these extra locks gives us that peace of mind when we're out hiking or doing our own thing in the van. And here's a quick clip of the ones we installed on the front doors. Same concept. They lock externally with a key. It's like a deadbolt type of thing. So this will come out against the B pillar and lock this completely. Then coming to the interior of the van, a couple last things we did was touch up these foam blobs just to make it look nicer on the inside. If you have a Ford Transit, you understand how hideous these things are. So we ended up upholstering these as well as adding this divider wall. This is huge for privacy in different areas where we're parked. It's quick and simple to just roll down. If you stay tuned, we have a video coming out on how to do both of these projects. This one's very in-depth with like custom sewing and all that, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for checking out these last few projects we did. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll try to answer them. Again, this wasn't really a how-to, it's just things we didn't film or get in the actual build journal, build vlog. So we wanted to touch on them just to show the full complete build of the van. Now that you've seen it, I've got some nature to go explore. I'm just kidding.
Where are you going?
I'm not ready.
Okay. You can put them inside your pocket.
Good?
Yep.
My hands look normal?
Look like a teacher.
Is that a bad thing?